Well, hey there, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. So, back with you a little devotional or thought here, and just a actual little quick little story time. If you've been with me for a while, you may already heard this story. I don't know if I told it or not, but if you haven't, you hear it for the first time. If you have, you might hear it again. But anyways, it was about 6 years ago, I'd say now. I'd just gotten out of the hospital of a 4 month stay in the hospital, and 2 of those months I didn't even know I was alive. I got so bad sick and had been septic and coded and had to be brought back, and a lot went on. Had to trach, feeding tube, broke my back while I was in the hospital doing physical therapy and trying to get strong enough to be able to walk again because I'd atrophied, and learning how to talk well again too because of the trach and the eat and swallow right. So I just got out from all that and back to my apartment up here, and trying to find a neurologist for my myasthenia gravis, and I finally got one and got into their office, and I saw them, and I could already tell they weren't too attentive and didn't really seem to care about what was going on. They didn't want to fill my medicines. I only filled one of them, and I needed like, let's see, 3 more added onto that one at the time. So I finally got back home kind of frustrated and beat up from hospital, and now beat up emotionally from that of someone not wanting to help. And then a day later I got a call from the office from the doctor themselves, and they said, I've run over your stuff, and it's too much for me to take on and too much for me to read, talking about my case. And then there's just basically goodbye after that. So I was kind of crushed and hurt and beat up physically and trying to get stronger physically and struggling mentally from being beat up from all that. And so it was heartbreaking, but thank God, family around me for support, church family as well praying for me, and then a lot of y'all that I didn't even know were thinking about me and stuff too, and finally got to a good neurologist and got help and everything else. But that kind of stuck with me, and just, how in the world could you just say, oh, you're too much for me to take on, your case is too much for me to read. So that kind of always stuck with me, a bad taste in my mouth. I'd love to go back to talk to her, not in a mean way, just in a loving way, of for her to understand of what she's doing to someone. She can do it to me, but I don't want her to ever do it to anyone else, because I care about someone else's feelings over what my feelings would be, because I don't want her to ever just be like, well, you're too much. And I got to thinking about that with the Bible itself and what lies within it. Is it too much for you to take on to read? Is it too much for you to read? Because are you going to get in front of God on Judgment Day and be like, well, God, it was too much for me to read? You're really going to have that excuse? I mean, what excuse could ever be good enough? None. But you're really going to be like, well, it was too much for me to read. Really? There's many ways to even be able to take it in. Apps on your phone, or just let it play and read to you. Or YouTube, there's plenty for you to play and let you read. And then just read maybe a chapter a day. Just read it. Don't just be like, well, it's too much for me to read. So your soul is not worth enough for reading? Something to think about. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this one. Y'all like, share, and subscribe if you want to. If you haven't already, when you do, you're welcome on to the Head to Tail family. We love you and welcome on in. So thank y'all again. I'll catch y'all on the next one.